I mean, put a royal beat down on them. And Xerxes comes home, he's crying, he's upset, they've demolished their forces, they've put a whipping on them. And you know who Xerxes wants? He wants his wife. Yeah. But that dummy cared more about his friends than he did his woman. Can I just give you a little pastoral, fatherly husband advice here, brothers? All your buddies, they'll walk out on you. I said, all your buddies, they'll walk out on you. But that woman that's been there through the thick and thin, she ought to be your number one pal. She ought to be the number one person that you think about more than anybody. Been a lot of good marriages destroyed because he wanted to hang out with the boys. He doesn't understand what he's doing. He's got all this peer pressure and they're saying you need to divorce. I'm not divorcing my wife because of you. I'll resign this church. I'll move to Colorado, live in the mountains in a cave before I leave my wife. I've had lots of people come and say they love me. Lots of people pat me on the back. Lots of people say I'm with you through the thick and thin. Most of the time they walked out on me, but there's been one for 17, almost 18 years of marriage has never walked out. If you've got a good woman, you need to thank God for it right now. I mean it right now. You ought to throw your hands in the air and say, God, thank you for giving me a woman that'll put up with my mess, my ignorance, the stupid mistakes that I've made. I don't deserve her. Thank you, Jesus. Amen. He wants his woman back, but he can't because he's the king and his decree is more powerful than he is. He can't reverse it in himself. And so you know what he does? He calls for a beauty pageant. His men, his counselors. And so they have all Persia. They're going for Miss Persia. And they go and get all the beautiful virgins of the land, and they bring them in. And while they're gathering up all the beautiful Persian ladies, they gather up a little lady named Hadassah, a little Jewish woman. We call her Esther. Sure. This is a spectacular woman. Her beauty is beyond comprehension, and she has been to hell and back in an earthly sense. Her mother and father died when she was very young. Her first cousin, a man by the name of Mordecai, began to raise her and took her in like she was his own daughter. She's not had an easy life. She is a Jew in a Persian kingdom, and she is now without father and mother. I'm going to tell you something. Where you're at right now does not necessarily determine where you're going to be. We serve a God that has a plan for every person in this room. One of the reasons I like the book of Esther, this is a little weird, but did you know the name God is not mentioned one time in the book of Esther? There's no mention of God or Jehovah or the King of Kings or the Lord of Glory. There's no mention of Shiloh. None. But you can't read the book of Esther and not realize that God is the puppet master in this play. He is moving, He is manipulating, He is working. And I need somebody to know today that all things will work together for the good of them that love God and are called according to His purpose. And so if your situation is not good right now, the last thing that you need to do is let go of God. You need to hold on because God knows what to do with you and your life. Amen. She now finds herself in this Persia beauty pageant, and they've got the cosmetologists in there and they're decking them up. They've got all their jewelry and their makeup. It's not anything like any of you sisters in here would understand. I'm talking about $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 worth of stuff wove inside their hair, and they had these crazy outfits that looked like clowns, and they had trains that went 40, 50 feet. And when they came into Esther, Esther said, "I want none of that. Don't need any of that. I'm just going like God made me." And she went in, and I'm sure she probably put on a different type of dress, and she looked beautiful, and she dressed up, but not like them. Not like them. How many knows that when you're clothed with the Spirit of the Lord, it's more beautiful than anything else in this life? Somebody say amen. She understands this, and she walks in, and there is Xerxes, and she rips his heart out immediately, and it's over. Miss Persia is now Miss Esther. And he marries her. He falls madly in love with her. Now this story, I could probably preach for a long, long time, many, many months about this. But you see, not only is God working and moving and manipulating as a puppet master inside the palace, He's also got Esther's first cousin, who is like a father to her. He's also got him and his life on the strings. And while all of this is taking place, the beauty pageant and all of this is going on, God is allowing Mordecai to be at the right places at the right time. Have you ever been at the right place at the right time? I mean, you know you got a blessing that you would have not got yesterday. There's no way you would have got it tomorrow. You got a car that you can't pay for hardly this week, but you had some money when you got it, and somehow or another you got it anyway. It was just the right place, the right time. Have you ever needed a blessing? Have you ever needed a financial blessing? I remember one time I was in Goodies over here when it was still a Goodies. I had no money. I wanted to buy my wife something, and a guy walked up in Goodies and handed me $100 bill. I said I was in the right place at the right time. Mordecai is being manipulated and moved by God. He's at the right place at the right time. And Mordecai overhears two people talking about assassinating Xerxes. Mordecai's a man of integrity. He runs and he tells them and saves the king's life. So now we have to kind of take that story and put it over on the side too, because we're going to have to go back to that in a little while. So we've got this taking place, and we've got Mordecai here, and now we've got this gentleman by the name of Haman. Somebody say Haman. Haman is a descendant of Agag. Do you remember Agag? See, God told Saul, King Saul, head and shoulders Saul, he said, I want you to go to the Amalekites, and I want you to destroy Agag, the king. All right? So you remember the story. Saul goes down and he slays off thousands of men, but he spares Agag. He spares the best of the sheep and the oxen. And when they come back, you know, Saul really thinks he's done something. He's got Agag, the king. It's a trophy. And Samuel says, what have you done? I hear the lowing of the oxen. I hear the bleating of the sheep. Why have you spared? I said, kill everything. And so Samuel kills Agag the king. Haman hasn't forgotten that. Haman hates the Jews. I said he hates them with a passion. And Haman has worked his way up into the courts of Xerxes. And Xerxes appoints him as a priest, as a powerful consultant or counselor of some sort in his kingdom. Haman, now, we have this story taking place here. We've got Mordecai, we've got Haman, we've got Esther, we've got Xerxes. All of these things are taking place at the same time. And so now that Haman has got a position, he gets on his white horse, his whatever he's riding, his chariots, and it comes down to the gates of the city, and all he's got the king of Persia, all of this is signet on everything, and everybody's bowing down to Haman, but not Mordecai. Haman walks by, everybody's falling down and worshiping and bowing, and Mordecai just stands there and looks at him. And Haman says, bow down to me. Mordecai saying, bow down to you. You know what? When you're a man of integrity, you don't bow down to the things of this world. You don't bow down just because somebody puts some peer pressure on you. You say, but you don't know what it's going to cost me. I don't care what it's going to cost you. I'd rather lose my life and be saved than gain the whole world and lose my soul. Is there anybody hearing me today? Mordecai says, I don't care who you are. You're a wicked man. You're an evil man. I'm not bowing down to you. It would be some good for you if you stop bowing down to every little whim. Come on, talk to me for a moment. You need to stand and be faithful and be counted for God today. It made Haman so angry. All he could think about day and night was how he's going to kill Mordecai. That's all he could think about. I'm going to kill him. I'm going to kill him. I'm going to kill him. And he begins to make up a scheme on how he's going to kill Haman. How about that? Going to kill him. So he goes to Xerxes and he says, you know what? I got this guy named Mordecai. It's just him and there's a few others. They just won't respect me. They won't bow down. They won't like it. They're not like everybody else. They're just a little group of people. I'm afraid they might cause a rebellion. And I'll tell you what, I'll give you 10,000 talents of silver if you'll let me kill him. Xerxes thinks there's a handful of people. He says, sure. The problem is there are tens of thousands and thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of Jews in the Persian, maybe millions. Haman goes and he builds some gallows. Going to hang them up in front of everybody and kill every Jew in the kingdom. I'm at Mordecai now. The puppet master has Mordecai in the right place at the right time. He hears these things. Remember, he is like a dad to Esther, and he's got Esther in this hand, and he's working Esther's life, and everything's working out. And Mordecai hears what Haman is going to do. He's going to kill every Jew in the kingdom. The problem is the queen is a Jew.
Right.
Nobody knows. Mordecai said, don't tell anybody you're a Jew. Because she looked like them, she talked like them, she was used to the customs. He said, don't you tell anybody who you are, where you come from. And so Mordecai runs to the gates and catches one of Esther's servants and said, I need you to tell Queen Esther that I've got a very important message that I need to give her. And so she sends a servant down, maybe meets with Mordecai. And Mordecai says, Haman is getting ready to kill me, and he's going to kill every one of your brothers and sisters and every person attached to you. And Esther says, oh no, I can't allow that. And I like the words of Mordecai. Mordecai said, Esther, it is for such a time as this that you have come into the kingdom. It is extremely important that you live by faith wherever you're at. You need to be content with whatever state you're in, because you're not in control of your life. And if you are, shame on you. You need to give God control. But if you're in a place right now that seems to be terrible, maybe it's dragging you down, you don't understand why things are happening. Did you realize that God can see past today? He knows what's going to happen tomorrow. They say it a lot of times, I don't know what tomorrow holds, but I know who holds tomorrow. You need to hold on a little while longer. The puppet master has got your life in control. What am I going to do? You're going to hold on. What am I going to do? You're going to keep praying. What am I going to do? You're going to stay faithful. What am I going to do? You're going to go when you can. You're going to serve God. You're going to read your Bible. You're going to witness. You're going to live holy. I said you're going to live holy. What if they try? I don't care what they try. Even if they slay me, I will still trust Him. You've got to hold on. The Bible says that Jesus bought us with the precious blood. I don't belong to myself anymore. I am a slave to Him. I'm not doing anything that He doesn't tell me to do. Is there anybody that's got enough faith? You'll wait on God. Let Him tell you what's coming. Amen. Well, I wish this would happen. I wish it would be better. I wish things would happen. You need to stay right where you're at and do what God has called you to do. You need to be faithful where you're at. And if you'll be faithful in a few things, He'll make you ruler over many things. I'm not worried about the blessings and all the things, the bells and the whistles. What I need more than anything is to be in God's will. Whether I'm a Mordecai at a gate, whether I'm an Esther in a palace, I need to be in God's will. I don't know who you are. I don't know where you're at. But this is the one thing I know. If you've been born again, that God's got a plan for you, and you need to let Him work it out. So this is what I like about Esther. She says to all of her servants, she says, for the next 3 days, we can't eat or drink. We've got to see God.
Amen.
And this is why I need you to fast. Because at the end of that 3-day period, I'm going to go into Xerxes. You say, what's the big deal? That's a big deal. No one comes into the king's court unless they are called. She's not been summoned, and sometimes the king wouldn't summon his wife for weeks and weeks and weeks, sometimes only for a conjugal visit. Really, that's about all a king needed a woman for in those days, because he had so many women. But you know what? Esther realizes that if I don't do something now, that we may not survive this. Have you ever been to a place like that? That you knew that if you didn't make a change right now, I may not survive this. I told you about the time I was in Dover, and my wife and I, we were going through it, and I've been fighting and battling some depression for a long time, and I just couldn't get up. I couldn't get up, and I preached, and I gave an altar call, and people came, and they prayed for about 2 minutes, and they got up, and they went home, and I went to the house. I noticed my wife was gone. And I got to the house, and she was in the kitchen. She was leaned up on the stove, if I remember correctly, and she was weeping like a baby, tears just dripping off of her chin. And I said, sweetheart, what's wrong? And she said, I don't know. And I said, oh no, we're in trouble. Because usually when I'm up, if she's down, I'm up. And if I'm down, she's up. And we carried each other. But we were both down. And I knew the enemy was working overtime on both of us. trying to steer us away from ministry, trying to divert us, he's going to try to wreak havoc. And so I only knew one thing to do. I went into my middle bedroom. We only had, I think, one child at the time. And I just laid, maybe two. I laid there prostrate in that floor. And for a couple of days, I didn't know what to pray. I'm so thankful for the message Brother Josh Bowman preached. He said, enter into your closet, and the God that seeth in secret will reward you openly. He didn't say hears you. He said sees you. And it brought some meaning to those days when I would lay in the floor. I didn't know what to pray. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know who to call. So I would just lay there. And every now and then I would say, oh God. I mean hours, 10, 12, 14 hours. I would lay on my face in the carpet because I knew that hell had been unleashed on my home. And we were in trouble. There's some times, Esther, that you got to do what you got to do. And some of you may be there right now. The enemy is attacking me at every hand. You need to say, devil, I'm going to God in prayer and fasting like never before. I'm coming up out of this. Somebody shout amen. There's no food. There's no water. And Esther is preparing herself. The people, Mordecai spreads it out to all the Jews, and the people are fasting and they're praying. And Esther gives us a beautiful picture of what intercession is. I wish I had more time. Really. I wish we didn't get so tired of preaching so fast. I'd preach longer. But I want you to get the picture. You got a king that's unapproachable. And you got a people that's going to die. And you got a woman that's standing in between the king and the people. They can't talk to the king because they're too sinful, and the king won't talk to them because they're too lowly. But Esther is both of them. Yeah. She's a Jew, and she's royalty. So I'll say two things, and I'm going to move on. That's not my message. My city's going to hell. Yeah. Come on. My city's going to hell. Yeah. And the call has been made. Is there anybody that'll stand in the gap and make up the hedge? God said, I found none. Are there any Esthers in this house that would be willing to fast and pray for the lost? Are there any people in this house that will say, you know what, my life is so entangled in my own stuff, in my own family, my own needs, my own bills, my own job, my own this, my own house, all of these things that I haven't really had time to pray about the people out here outside this church? And I want you to shake yourself and realize that God didn't send you in this world so you could just merely survive over here in your house eating popcorn and watching TV. He called you to be an ambassador of Jesus Christ. He called you to be an intercessor. I'm wondering today, is there anybody that'll join me and say, God, would you please spare this city? Our children are overdosing. Had almost 500 overdoses in this city this year. And that's just the ones we know about. We need a revival in Richmond, Kentucky. And I'm saying, oh God, start right here with me. Esther says, I can't let my people die like this. Yes. And must I remind you about the great mediator, the great intercessor? Somebody tell me what his name is. The God-man who was able to get a hold of humanity, able to get a hold of the hand of the Father, and was able to reconcile us. And because of him, I'm here before you today, not as a pastor, not as a preacher, but because of him, I'm here before you today as a child of the living God. I've got the Spirit of the Lord dwelling inside of me because I couldn't come to the Father. I couldn't go to God. So God came to me. He came down so I could go up. Is there anybody glad that you're saved today? Is there anybody here? I don't care if you are broke, busted, and disgusted. I've got Jesus on my side. I've got hope. I've got hope. I can make it because of God. Is there anybody that feels that way? I ain't got any money. My bills are due and I can't pay it. So what? I'm saved. I'm saved. Oh, Mr. Brownstone's calling my phone again. I feel a pull again, but I'm not going there again. I will not go back to that lifestyle. The world is pulling at you. I said the world's pulling at you. And the enemy said to you, if you were saved, you wouldn't be tempted. Well, the Bible said that Jesus was tempted in all points. You don't have to go there. You don't have to God with you.
All the time.
Live like it.
Amen.
Yeah.
Talk like it.
Amen. Amen.
Walk like it.
Amen.
Dress like it.
Amen.
Think like it.
Amen. Amen.
The enemy comes in like a flood. What's wrong with you? The Spirit of God will raise a standard up against him.
That's right.
The devil says you're not going to make it. Just call him a liar. Say you a liar. You've been a liar since the beginning. You're the father of it. I'm not going down. I can't go down. Jesus said I'm going over. It may not look like it right now, but on the inside of me, greater is he that's on the inside than he that's on the outside. You will, in the name of Jesus, rise. You will. Oh, God, help us. I feel the Holy Ghost in this house.
Thank you, Lord.
What are you going to do? I'm going to fast. I'm going to pray. I'm going to call the people and fast and pray, and they did it. And she walks in where she's not supposed to be. And she says to Xerxes, your man Haman, your man Haman's going to kill Mordecai. Your man Haman is going to kill 1 million Jews out here. Your man Haman's going to kill me. Xerxes says, no, he's not. And he gives her power and his counselors, and they reverse the decree. My God, help us.
Come on. Lord, come
My
on,
God,
man.
help us. Haman doesn't sleep at night now. You remember Haman?
Yeah.
The descendant of Agag. The one that has spent thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars creating death machines. So they can slaughter tens of thousands of Jews all day through the night, all day long, hang them up for everybody to see their bodies hanging there so he could walk around proud and pompous. That Haman. You know what the decree was? It'll not be the Jews hanging on the gallows. It'll be Haman. It'll be Haman and his 10 sons and everything that's connected. I need to talk to you for a moment, because you thought because the enemy was like a roaring lion walking about seeking whom he may devour, and he's been on your trail for a while now. He's ripping and he's talking and he's causing you to doubt, and now you're in a place where you don't feel like you're worth anything. You're useless. You're worthless. What am I going to do at the church? I'm not a good mother. I'm not a good husband. I'm not a good father. I'm not a good anything. I need you to know that that same devil that's been tormenting you, here after a while, God's going to flip that thing, and that joker's going to be cast into a bottomless pit. You need to move on. Stop listening to the devil. He's a liar. I will mark. Somebody help me preach for a moment here. I want you to watch this right here. God has got Xerxes. This is crazy to me. He's got Mordecai on the strings and he's moving. He's got Haman on the strings and he's a puppet master. He's got Esther on strings. He's a puppet master. He's also got Xerxes on the string. Xerxes lays down in his plush bed at night, and Xerxes can't sleep. Sleep is gone. Xerxes gets up out of his bed and he starts pacing the floors. And he has the genius idea of reading those exciting chronicles, historical chronicles of the Persian Empire, which was basically a bunch of just data and stats and names and nothing. And it's just the most boring thing, like reading a dictionary. And he's up and he's reading all the history of what's going on, and he comes across a story.
Come on.
Mordecai revealed that 2 servants were going to assassinate me.
Come on.
And he reported it and saved my life. And there's no record of him being rewarded.
Come on. Amen.
Come on.
Xerxes says, I need somebody. Who's in the court? They said, Haman. Go get Haman and bring him in. Haman stands there pomp and proud. Xerxes says, I'm really wanting to bless somebody that I really like. And Haman's like, says it. The Word of God says it. Haman in his mind says, well, there's nobody that he wants to bless like me. He says, do you know a man by the name of Mordecai?
Come on, Lord.
Do you know a man by the name of Mordecai? Haman says, yeah. He don't know what to say. He doesn't know if he's mad, he's angry. Here's the trick. He says, before he tells him who he is, he says, how would you bless him? How would you honor him? big, massive white horse, I would put him on it and dress him like a king and put a crown on his head. And he said, Xerxes said, that's a good idea. I need you to go find Mordecai. Put him on a horse, put a crown on his head, and I want you to walk him down the same streets that you were walking down, making folk bow down. I want you to put Mordecai on a horse, and I want you to bring him down through the streets, and I want the people to sound trumpets. I want the people to know that this man saved my life. I told you exactly right. God will bless you in the middle of the midnight. God will bless you in the middle of pain. God will bless you when everything falls apart. And I'm telling you, I feel it like never before. It doesn't matter where you're at. If you've got a covenant with God, I'm coming out. God is going to bless me. Mordecai's faithful in the gate. Mordecai's faithful when he's beat down. Mordecai's faithful in the trial. He's faithful in the temptation. Now he's riding a horse. Now he's got a crown on his head. And God isn't even close to being done with Mordecai yet.
Come on. Glory.
This is amazing to me. I'll just tell you, Mordecai gets Haman's job.
Sure. Yes, man. That's right.
3:30.
Come on, preach, man. Come on, preach.
I got something to tell you today. I want you to listen. You and 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 you. And in fact, I got something specifically I need to tell every single person on this side of the room.
Come on. Yes,
I got a message for you and you and you. In fact, I believe God dispatched me to preach to you, every single person on this side of the room too.
Come on. Glory.
These gallows that were made to destroy you. No weapon that is formed against you shall prosper.
Yes.
No weapon, no gallows that's formed, no trick, no disease, no lie, no person, no relationship, no drug. And they start hanging them up. Haman and his sons.
Come on.
And they say, we need to throw a party.
Glory.
He'd throw a party. Haman had cast lots to see what month and what day he was going to destroy them. They said, we're going to have a party. We're going to call it Purim. Because another name for lots is pure. We're going to take the vice that the enemy was meaning to use against me, and we're going to throw a party.
Come on.
And
Glory.
this is what I come to tell you. I don't know what you want to do with it, but I feel the Holy Ghost real strong, so something's going to happen. They're not partying over the blessings that they received. They're not partying over what they got. They're partying over what didn't happen.
Glory, 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 glory.
Just let it settle for a moment.
That's right.
They're not partying over what's in their pocket. They're partying over what's not.
All right.
They're not partying over what they lost. They're partying over what they didn't lose. Are you hearing me? I know the enemy's bringing up the marriage situation. I know the enemy's bringing up the physical situation. I know the enemy's bringing up the financial situation. I know the enemy's bringing up a lot of things. I'm not asking you to party over what you don't have. I'm not asking you to party. I'm asking you to begin to celebrate about the things that could have happened that the devil tried to do, but the enemy canceled out. Oh, I want you to start saying, God, it may not be the best right now, but it's a lot better than it could have been. Oh, yeah. I may not feel the best, but I feel better than I could have. Oh, the enemy is attacking, but I'm still here. I'm still in the game. I'm still here. I'm still praising. I'm still worshiping. I might be limping, but I still got my legs. I may be crying. Oh, cry on. I may be weeping. Weep on. Weeping may endure for the night, but joy is coming. I can't party about everything. Oh, I know you did some drugs. And I know you did. I know you did some stupid stuff. I know you lost 35 years of your life. Other things. I don't know. Put it on your life. lay the message on top of your own self. I know the enemy rocks your world about all the things that you failed at. I know the enemy rocks the parents in this house about the areas you failed as a parent, the areas you failed as a wife, the areas you failed as a husband. But I'm wondering, can we get enough maturity in us today to know this? I've lost a few battles, but I haven't lost all of them. There's a few things that I wish I could take back. There's a few things that I did that God was in. Are you hearing me? I did do some drugs. I did cuss God, but not tonight. Not tonight. No. I did lie. I did steal. I did cheat, but not tonight. God has saved me. Stand across the house.
Hallelujah.
Glory. Glory.
Peter and John understood this.
Glory.
Silver and gold I don't have.
Yep.
And that's where we focus,
Yeah.
on the negative. I can't preach like, I can't sing like,
Come on.
Glory.
That's right.
I don't have a marriage like,
Come on. Taste it.
my husband's not like, my wife is not.
Come on.
I don't make that much money.
Jesus. Hallelujah.
Whole churches do that. Our church is not like.
Lord.
Silver and gold I don't have.
Amen.
And there's a whole big bunch of you in this house. That's where you're stuck right now. You hit the pause button on that. All you're looking at is the things you don't have. All you're looking at is the things you don't have.
Come on. Glory.
All you're looking at is the health you don't have. All you look at is the money you don't have. All you look at is the relationships that you don't have. And I'm telling you, if you will, we could bake a cake, light a big bunch of candles, and we could party. Because I may not have this, but I do have this. I may not have that, but I got this. I may have wasted the first 40 of my life, but I've got another 40 I'm giving to God. I may have blew it on my oldest son, but you know what? He's got a son now. I will not blow it on my grandson. I don't have that anymore, but I do have this. I may have wasted a long time and didn't minister, didn't pray. I may not be where I need to be. Oh, but that was yesterday. That was 3 minutes ago. I don't have that anymore. But what I do have, I have this moment. I have right now. I've got people that love me. I've got relationships that are good. I've got a roof over my head. Somebody help me preach. I had to do it as a pastor. I had to do it as a pastor of Revival Tabernacle. Because not everybody's going to come to church faithfully. And when they didn't come, it bothered me. I took it personal. And I thought, what is wrong with me? What's wrong with the church? Then I realized it wasn't me or the church. It was them. They don't have a walk with God like they need. And I would come in and try to preach to you that are faithful. How many we got today?
83.
About 83 people in the house today. There's about 40 that are not here. I didn't come to preach to them today. They didn't want to be here. I don't have anything really to say to them. But I've got 83 people in this house that did want to be here. You had no problems. You got issues at the house. You could have stayed home. But you said, I want the house of God. And so when I changed my perspective and I started coming to the house looking for those that want God, want the church. Oh, just like right now. I'm loving preaching. We may not have that. Oh, but we do have this. Let's pray, Father. In the name